Hey, English learners, welcome back to the Millie English Podcast, your cozy place to learn easy English through real-life conversations. I'm Millie, and I'm really happy you're here with me today. Maybe you're walking, cooking, commuting, or just relaxing with your phone. Wherever you are, I'm glad you clicked on this episode. This episode is around B1 to B2 level, so the English is natural and conversational, something you can really use in daily life. You don't need to understand every single word to learn something. Just grab the parts you understand, borrow the sentences you like, and let the rest pass by. No pressure, no stress. Real conversation first, vocabulary hidden inside, no boring grammar drills while you're trying to enjoy your day. At the end, we'll do a calm little word tour. We'll pick some useful phrases from the episode, explain them, and help them stay in your mind. If you enjoy learning English like this, you can like this episode and subscribe to the Millie English Podcast. It really helps more learners find us. And I'd love to hear from you. After you listen, write one sentence in the comments. Tell me, do you ever read English news, or does it feel too difficult? Okay, so today we're talking about a learning method I discovered this year that completely changed how I improve my English. The news method. And I know what you're thinking. News? That sounds boring. News articles are long and full of complicated words I don't understand. I used to think the same way. But then I realized something. News headlines are actually perfect for English learners. They're short. They use current relevant vocabulary. They cover topics people actually talk about. And they're updated every single day. So today, I want to share the exact method I use, how to learn English from news headlines without feeling overwhelmed or bored. By the end of this episode, you'll know how to turn 10 minutes of daily news reading into powerful English practice. So take a deep breath with me. Get comfortable. And let's talk about staying informed and improving your English at the same time. Let me be honest. For years, I completely avoided reading news in English. I told myself it was too hard, too political, too depressing. I'd open a news website, see words like unprecedented, allegations, scrutiny, and immediately close the tab. My brain would shut down. I felt stupid. Like I should understand these words, but I didn't. And reading news felt like work, not learning. So I stuck to easier content, simple articles, children's books, podcasts at slow speed. And that was fine for a while. But then I noticed something. When I tried to have conversations with native speakers about current events, I had nothing to say. They'd talk about something happening in the world, and I'd just nod and smile. I couldn't participate because I didn't know the vocabulary. I didn't know how to talk about politics, economy, technology, social issues. My English was good for small talk, but shallow for deeper topics. That's when I realized avoiding news was actually holding me back. If I wanted to sound educated and informed, I needed to engage with real-world English. But I needed a method that didn't make me feel overwhelmed. A way to learn from news without drowning in difficult vocabulary. So I created what I now call the 2026 news method. And it transformed my English in ways I didn't expect. Let me explain why news headlines are actually brilliant for English learners, better than textbooks, better than random articles. They're short and digestible. Headlines are usually just one sentence, sometimes even shorter. You can read 10 headlines in 2 minutes. This is perfect for busy people. You don't need to commit to a full article. Just headlines give you massive vocabulary exposure. They use powerful, concise language. Headlines have to grab attention in just a few words. So they use strong verbs, vivid adjectives, current idioms. This is the language people actually use, not textbook English, real dynamic English that makes you sound natural. They cover every topic imaginable: politics, sports, technology, health, entertainment, business. News covers everything. This means you learn vocabulary for any conversation. If you only study from textbooks, you learn textbook topics. If you study from news, you learn the language of the real world. They're updated daily, new headlines every single day. This means fresh vocabulary, fresh expressions. You'll never run out of learning material. And because news reflects what people are talking about right now, your English stays current and relevant. They teach you how English really works. Headlines use grammar structures that native speakers use constantly. Passive voice, present perfect, conditional sentences. But instead of studying these in isolation, you see them in context. You understand why they're used. That's real learning. Okay, so let me break down the exact method I use. 5 simple steps you can do in just 10 minutes a day. Step 1. Choose your news source. Pick one reliable English news website. BBC, CNN, The Guardian, Reuters. Choose one and stick with it. Don't jump around. Consistency helps. Each source has its own style, and getting familiar with one makes reading easier over time. I personally use BBC because it's designed for international audiences. The language is clear and not too complicated. Step 2. Read only headlines for 5 minutes. Don't read full articles yet. Just scroll through headlines. Read as many as you can in 5 minutes. Don't stop to look up every word. Just read. Let your brain absorb the patterns. Notice which words appear repeatedly. This is exposure. Your brain is collecting data. You're not trying to understand everything. Just scanning and observing. Step 3. Pick 3 interesting headlines. After 5 minutes of scanning, choose 3 headlines that caught your attention. Maybe because of the topic. Maybe because you understood most of it. Write them down in a notebook or your phone. Just the headline. Nothing else yet. Step 4. Break down each headline. Now take each headline and analyze it slowly. Underline words you don't know. Look them up. Notice the grammar structure. Is it passive voice? Is there a phrasal verb? What tense is used? Try to understand not just what the headline says, but how it's constructed. This is where deep learning happens. Step 5. Use the vocabulary. This is the most important step. Don't just collect words, use them. Write 3 sentences using new words from the headlines. Or record yourself speaking about the news topic in your own words. Or explain the headline to an imaginary friend. Using the vocabulary moves it from passive knowledge to active skill. This is how it sticks. That's it. 10 minutes, 5 steps. Do this every day for a month and your English will transform. Let me show you exactly how I use this method with real examples from recent headlines. Example number 1. Scientists discover new species in remote rainforest. First, I notice the structure. Subject plus verb plus object. Simple present tense for news events. New vocabulary, species remote rainforest. I look them up. Species means a type of animal or plant. Remote means far away, isolated. Then I use them. I write, scientists often work in remote areas. There are millions of species we haven't discovered yet. Now these words are mine. I've activated them. Example number 2. Tech giant faces backlash over privacy concerns. This headline is more advanced. Faces backlash is a common news phrase. It means receives criticism or negative reaction. Privacy concerns means worries about how personal information is used. This is current, relevant vocabulary. I practice. The company is facing backlash from users. Many people have privacy concerns about social media. Example 3. Oil prices surge amid global tensions. Surge means to increase suddenly and sharply. Amid means during or in the middle of. These are sophisticated words that make you sound fluent. I practice. Gas prices surged last month. Amid the chaos, she stayed calm. See how this works? 3 headlines, maybe 6 to 8 new words or phrases. Practiced in context. Do this daily, and in a month you've learned 200 plus new vocabulary items, in natural, memorable contexts. Let me share some mistakes I made when I first started using news to learn English, so you can avoid them. Mistake 1, trying to read full articles too soon. Full articles are long and dense. They'll overwhelm you. Stick to headlines first. Maybe add 1 or 2 sentences from the article later, but don't force yourself to read entire articles if they're too difficult. Headlines alone are powerful. Mistake 2, looking up every single word. You'll get frustrated and give up. Only look up keywords, the ones that appear in multiple headlines. If a word shows up once and never again, skip it. Focus on high-frequency vocabulary. Mistake 3, choosing news that's too technical. Avoid finance news or medical journals if you're not advanced. Stick to general news, politics, culture, technology, environment. These topics use vocabulary you'll actually use in conversation. Mistake 4, not using the vocabulary. The biggest mistake, don't just collect words like stamps, use them, speak them, write them. If you don't use new vocabulary within 24 hours, you'll probably forget it. Mistake 5, reading depressing news only. News can be heavy. Wars, disasters, problems. If it's draining you, balance it. Read some sports headlines, some entertainment news, some positive stories. Keep your motivation up. Let me tell you what actually happened after I used the news method consistently for 3 months. First, my vocabulary exploded. I stopped using the same basic words for everything. Instead of just saying big problem, I could say unprecedented crisis. Instead of people are worried, I could say concerns are mounting. My English became more sophisticated without sounding fake or forced. Second, my listening comprehension improved. Because I was reading news, when I heard news on TV or radio, I understood it. The vocabulary was familiar. The topics made sense. I could follow conversations about current events. Third, I had more to talk about. I could participate in discussions about what's happening in the world. I wasn't just the quiet person nodding anymore. I had opinions. I had vocabulary to express them. Fourth, my reading speed increased. At first, reading headlines took effort. After a few weeks, it became automatic. My brain got faster at processing English. This carried over into all my reading. And fifth, I felt more connected to the world. Learning English wasn't just about grammar anymore. It was about understanding global events, different perspectives, important issues. It gave my learning purpose. Once you're comfortable with headlines, here's how to level up. Read the first paragraph. After reading the headline, read just the opening paragraph of the article. Usually this summarizes the whole story. It gives you context without overwhelming you with the entire article. Listen to news podcasts. Many news organizations have daily news podcasts. BBC has Global News Podcast. The New York Times has The Daily. These are great for listening practice. And because you've read the headlines, you already know the topics. Watch news clips with subtitles. YouTube has tons of short news clips. Watch with English subtitles. You'll see how the vocabulary you learned is pronounced. This connects your reading practice to listening and speaking. Discuss with others. Find a language partner or join an online community. Discuss the news you read. This is where all your practice comes together. Real conversation about real topics. Write summaries. Challenge yourself to summarize a news story in your own words. This tests your comprehension and active vocabulary. Can you explain what happened without copying the article? That's mastery. All right, it's time to slow everything down. We've covered a lot today, and I want some of these phrases to really stay in your English. So let's do a calm word tour together. No stress, just listen. Unprecedented. Unprecedented means never happened before, completely new. For example, the pandemic was an unprecedented event. Or, we're facing unprecedented challenges. Allegations. Allegations are claims that someone did something wrong, but not proven yet. For example, the politician denied all allegations, or serious allegations have been made. Scrutiny. Scrutiny means careful, detailed examination. For example, the company is under scrutiny for its practices. Or, his actions faced public scrutiny. Backlash. Backlash means strong, negative reaction or criticism. For example, the decision caused public backlash. Or, she faced backlash on social media. Surge. Surge means to increase suddenly and strongly. For example, prices surged last month. Or, there was a surge in demand. Amid. Amid means during, in the middle of. For example, amid the chaos, she stayed calm. Or, sales fell amid economic uncertainty. Mounting. Mounting means increasing, building up. For example, concerns are mounting about climate change. Or there's mounting pressure to act. Crisis. Crisis means a serious, difficult, or dangerous situation. For example, we're facing an economic crisis. Or the crisis requires immediate action. Digest. Digest means to process and understand information. For example, I need time to digest all this news. Or short articles are easier to digest. Engage with. Engage with means to participate in or interact with something. For example, I need to engage with real-world English. Or try to engage with the content actively. Shallow. Shallow means not deep, superficial. For example, my knowledge was shallow before I started reading news. Or, don't keep conversations shallow. Carry over. Carry over means to extend or continue from one situation to another. For example, my reading skills carried over into better listening. Or, these habits will carry over into your work. There you go. 12 useful phrases from today's episode. You don't need to memorize all of them right now. Even if 2 or 3 stay with you, that's already amazing. So, before we say goodbye, I want to challenge you to try this method starting today. Go to any English news website, BBC, CNN, whatever you prefer. Spend 5 minutes just reading headlines. Don't pressure yourself. Don't try to understand everything. Just read, observe, get curious. Then pick one headline. Just one. Break it down. Look up keywords. Write 3 sentences using those words. That's it. That's your homework. And if you do this, write 1 sentence in the comments. Tell me, what headline did you read today? What new word did you learn? I want to see what you're working on. And sharing makes you accountable. It makes you more likely to continue. If this episode gave you a new way to learn English, please like this video and subscribe to the Millie English Podcast. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Thank you for being curious about the world and committed to your English. News isn't just information. It's a doorway to deeper, richer English. And you just learned how to walk through it. I'm Millie, and you've been listening to the Millie English Podcast. Bye.